Hello students, welcome to Anne's classes. Let's do direct and inverse variations. Chapter 10, exercise 10b. Page number 132, question 3. If x and y vary inversely, find the values of L, M and N in this table. So in this table we have L, M and N. We need to find the values of that, and we have been told that x and y vary inversely. So when x and y vary inversely, the product of x and y will be a constant. That means x1 into y1 will be equal to 8 into L, that is x2 into y2. That will be equal to x3 into y3. That will be equal to x4 into y4. So inverse variation, we have to find the product of x and y. That will make it a constant. Because x and y vary inversely, we can say x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2, which is equal to x3 into y3, which is equal to x4 into y4. So here we are doing multiplication. So now let us substitute. Now what is x1? x1 is 4 into 4, which is equal to x2 is 8 into y2 is L, x3 is 2 into y3, which is M, x4 is 32 and y4 is N. 4 fours are 16, so 16 is equal to 8L. This is equal to 2M. This is equal to 32N. So now we can find the values of L, M and N. So let's take only 8L. 8L is equal to 16. So let's write that. So 8L is equal to 16. We can find the value of L from this. L is equal to 16 divided by 8. Let's cancel. So cancel 8 twos are 16. So now we have found the value of L. L is equal to 2. Similarly, now let's take the next thing, that is 2m. 2m is also equal to 16. So let's write that. So what does that mean? 2m is equal to 16. So now let's find the value of m. m is equal to 16 by 2. Cancel. 2 8s are 16. So we have found the value of m. m is equal to 8. Now let's take n here. Here we have 32n. 32n is also equal to 16. So let's write that. So 32n is equal to 16. So to find the value of n, we say 16 by 32. So now we can cancel here. I can cancel 16 and 32, 16 ones and 16 twos. So n is equal to 1 by 2. You can also convert this to a decimal number. So n becomes 0.5. When you divide 1 by 2, you get 0.5. So we've got our answers. L is equal to 2, M is equal to 8, and N is equal to 1 by 2 or 0.5. The second question, we need to find again the values of L, M and N from this table. We have L here, M here and N here. So this second part is the one which is giving us the values. So the question says x and y vary inversely. Because x and y vary inversely, the product of x1, y1 will be equal to x2, y2 and so on. So let's write, because x and y vary inversely, we're talking about the product. x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2. This is equal to x3, y3. This is equal to x4, y4. So now let's substitute here. So x1 is 24 and y1 is L. x1 into L is equal to x2 into y2, which is 12, is equal to x3 into y3, which is 8, is equal to x4 into y4, which is n. So now let's simplify this. So now here, what are the values that we have here? 32 into 12. And that is 384. So let's say 384 is equal to all these. That is 24L, which is equal to the next one, 8M, This is equal to the next one, which is 16n. So now we can find the values of L, M and N. So let's start by saying 24L is equal to 384. So let's find the value of L. L is equal to 384 divided by 24. Here you can cancel 24 and 384, you'll get 16. That means we have found the value of L. L is equal to 16. Now let's take the next one. So let's say again 384 is equal to 8m, or 8m is equal to 384. So now we're going to find the value of m. M is equal to 384 divided by 8. Again, we can cancel here 8 ones and here 48. You get 48. That means the value of m is equal to 48. Now let's take the next one, that is 16n. 16n is also equal to this, which is 384. So we can say 16n is equal to 384. So now let's find the value of n. N will be 384 divided by 16. That means you can cancel here again 16 ones, and 16 into 24 will give us 384. So the value of n is 24. So we found our answer. We have found the values of L, M and N. L is 16, M is 48, N is 24. Question 4. 36 men can do a piece of work in 7 days. How many men will do the same work in 42 days? So first, let's write down. Let the number of men who do the same work in 42 days be x. So let's get our table ready. So 36 men, so number of men, and we have 7 days, number of days. So let's fill in. The number of men first is 36. So 36 men can do the work in 7 days. Now how many men, we don't know, will do the work in 42 days. So let's look at the table and understand whether it's direct or inverse variation first. So when there were 36 men, they could finish the work in 7 days. Now the number of days has been extended to 42 days. That means we don't need 36 men. If there are 36, they'll finish it fast. But if there are many days, we need only fewer men. So when the number of days is increasing, the number of men is decreasing. So this is a case of inverse variation. So in inverse variation, remember, we have to take the product. X1, Y1 is equal to X2, Y2. So let's do that. X1 into Y1 is equal to X2 into Y2. So X1 is 36, Y1 is 7, X2 is X, and Y2 is 42. So from this we can find the value of X. X will be equal to 36 into 7 divided by 42. We have transposed this 42 away from X because it's multiplication. When it goes to the other side, it becomes division. Now let's cancel. We can cancel 7 and 42. 7 sixes are 42. We can cancel 6 and 36. 6 sixes are 36. So now we have only 6 left here. That means we have found the value of X, and X is equal to 6. And what is X? X is the number of men. So now can you see, when the number of days is increased, we need only 6 men to do the work. Here we had 36 men, so they finished in 7 days. Now there are more days and we need only 6 men. So the number of men who will do the same work in 42 days is 6. Let's do the same thing in the arrow method. So in the arrow method, we have to make 2 columns. Now 36 men. So number of men will be the first column, and here days, the number of days is the second column. So let's fill in this first. So number of men is 36 and the number of days is 7. Here they're asking how many men. So we don't know. So that is X, and the number of days is 42. So here also we are going to find out whether it's direct or inverse variation. So here when the number of days has increased, the number of men will decrease, isn't it? Because in 7 days had 36 men doing, that's why they finished in 7 days. But since we have 42 days now, the number of men will reduce. So the arrow marks that you draw should be in opposite directions. So here we have one arrow mark and then here we have the other arrow mark. As you can see, they are both in opposite directions. Now the arrowhead, where is it pointing to? That should be your numerator of your equation. So x is on top, so we say x by 36 is now equal to 7 by 42 where the arrowhead is pointing. Now cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, what do you get? So here we can say x into 42 is equal to 7 into 36. So now let's find the value of x. X is equal to 7 into 36 divided by 42. Now cancel and see what we get. 7 sixes are 42. I can again cancel 6 sixes are 36. So x is equal to 6. So we have found the value of x and that is 6, and x is the number of men. So the number of men who will do the same work in 42 days is equal to 6. So this is our answer in the arrow method. Question 5. 12 pipes, all of the same size, fill a tank in 42 minutes. How long will it take to fill the same tank if 21 pipes of the same size are used? So we are asked to find the time that will take for the tank to be filled. If 21 pipes are used, initially 12 pipes were used, now 21 pipes are going to be used. So let's start by saying let the time taken to fill the tank by 21 pipes be x. And let's get our table ready. So here 12 pipes, so we have written number of pipes, and 42 minutes, so time taken in minutes. Now let's fill this up. So number of pipes initially is 12, and for 12 pipes it took 42 minutes. Now the number of pipes are going to be increased and it's going to be 21 pipes. So when 12 pipes were used, it took 42 minutes. Now we're going to use more pipes, so definitely it's going to be filled in lesser time. So when the pipes increase, the time is going to decrease. So that means this is going to be a case of inverse variation. So this is a case of inverse variation. In that case, the product xy will be a constant. So x1, y1 is equal to x2 into y2. So let's substitute. X1 is 12, y1 is 42, x2 is 21, y2 is x. So now we're going to find the value of x. X is equal to 12 into 42 divided by 21. We can cancel. 21 twos are 42. Now 12 into 2 is 24. So can you see the time now has become 24 minutes. So when 12 pipes were used, it took 42 minutes. Now when the number of pipes were increased, it used lesser time. It took only 24 minutes. So we can say the time taken to fill the tank by 21 pipes is equal to 24 minutes. Now let's do the same question in the arrow method. So here we have 12 pipes. So our first column will be number of pipes. Then we have 42 minutes, that is time in minutes. Now let's fill in these columns. So number of pipes is 12, time in minutes is 42. How long will it take? That means we don't know the time, so time is going to be x to fill the same tank if 21 pipes are used. So the number of pipes is 21. So here, when the number of pipes has increased, the time is going to be less. So that means this is an inverse variation. So the arrow marks should be in opposite direction. So we have one arrow mark coming this way and we have the other arrow mark going the other way. Again, to make our equation, see which is close to the arrowhead. That should be the numerator of your fraction. So 21 by x by 12 is equal to, again close to the arrowhead is 42, so 42 by x. Now let's cross multiply. So cross multiply these two. So here what do we get? We get 21 into x is equal to 12 into 42. So this is equal to, we're going to find the value of x, which is 12 into 42 divided by 21. We can cancel 21 and 42. So that is 2. So 12 twos are 24. So we have found the value of x. X is 24. And what is x? X is minutes. The time in minutes when 21 pipes are used. So this is our answer, and we can say the time taken to fill a tank with 21 pipes is equal to 24 minutes. So we can write that is equal to 24 minutes. This is our answer. Question 6. In a fort, 150 men had provisions for 45 days. After 10 days, so now the number of days is reduced to 35, 25 men have left the fort. So again, the number of men also will reduce. How long would the fort last at the same rate? So the original number of men was 150. Then number of men that left is 25 men left. So now the new number of men will be 150 minus 25, and that is 125. So the number of men is now 125. Let the provisions for 125 men last for X days. So this is what they're asking us to find. How long would the food last for this many men, and that is 125 days. Now the remaining food would last for how many days? Now here first we had 45 days. Now after 10 days, that means 45 minus 10 makes it 35 days. So this is 35 days. So we have all our details here. Let's make our table. So number of men is 150, and now it is reduced to 125. Number of days has reduced to 35 days from 45, and we don't know for 125 men how many days. Now let's look at the table and understand. When the number of men has reduced, okay, so for 150 people, it took 35 days. Now the number of men has reduced. So that means the same food can be had for more days, isn't it? Because now there are fewer men. So when the number of men has reduced, the number of days is going to increase. That means this is a case of inverse variation. Inverse variation means x1, y1 product. x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2. So now let's substitute. x1 is 150, y1 is 35. This is equal to x2 is 125 into y2, which is x. So now we can find the value of x. We can say x is equal to 150 into 35 divided by 125. Now let's cancel what we can. So here we have 5 into 25 is 125, and we can also cancel this with 25. Let's do it with 25. So 25 fives are 125, 25 sixes are 150. Now we can cancel 35 and 5. So that is 5 sevens are 35. Now let's multiply these two. 6 sevens are 42. That means we have found the value of x. X is 42. And what did we say x is? We said let the provisions for 125 men last for X days. That means for 125 men, it will last 42 days. So the provisions for 125 men will last for 42 days, and this is our answer. Let's do the same thing in the arrow method. So we have the arrow method. Let's get all our details. So the original number of men is 150. The number of men that left is 25. That means the new number of men will be 150 minus 25, which is 125 men. So let the provisions for 125 men last for X days. We'll call it X days. The remaining food would last for 45 minus 10 days, which is 35 days. So this we have to keep in mind. We have all the details. Now let's do the arrow method. Make two columns, number of men and number of days. So the number of men first was 150. Now the number of men is 125. The number of days is 35 because 10 days have gone after 10 days. So now we have to find for x. So here again, the number of men has reduced. So when the number of men is reduced, the number of days will increase because there are only fewer men. So they can take the food for more days. So the food will last for more days for lesser men. So that means this is a case of inverse variation. So the arrow mark should be in opposite direction. So here we have one arrow mark coming this way where the arrowhead is pointing down. The other one should be in the opposite way, that is the other way. So the arrowhead is going up. So now to form our equation, look at the number that's closest to the arrowhead. So here we have 125 by 150 and this is equal to 35 by x. So cross multiply x and 125 and 150 and 35. So now what do we have? We have 125 into x is equal to 35 into 150. Now we're going to find the value of only x. X is equal to 35 into 150 divided by 125. Let's cancel with 25 both these numbers. 25 into 5 is 125 and 25 into 6. Cancel 5 and 35. 5 sevens are 35. 7 into 6 is 42. So we have found x. And what is x? The provisions for 125 men last for x days, that means 42 days. So the provisions for 140 men, 125 men will last for 42 days. So this is our answer, 42 days. Question 7. 72 men do a piece of work in 25 days. In how many days will 30 men do the same work? So we need to find the number of days taken by 30 men to do that same work. So let's say that the number of days taken by 30 men be x. Now let's get our table ready. In our table, we're going to write number of men and number of days. Let's fill in. So first we have 72 men. So 72 men finish the work in 25 days. Now they're saying if we have only 30 men, okay, the number of days here we're going to consider it to be x. Now here, let's look at the number of men. From 72, the number of men has reduced, so this has decreased. Now if 72 men work together, they're able to finish the work in 25 days. But if only 30 men are there, they're going to take more time, isn't it? So when the number of men is decreasing, the number of days is increasing. So this is a case of inverse variation. So then in that case we say x1, y1, the product is equal to x2, y2. So what is x1? x1 is 72 into y1 is 25. This is equal to x2 which is 30 into y2 which is x. So now we can find the value of x. X is equal to 72 into 25 divided by 30. Now we can cancel. I can cancel 25 and 30 both by 5. 5 fives are 25, 5 sixes are 30. Now I can cancel 6 and 72. 6 ones are 6, 6 twelves are 72. Now multiply 12 into 5. 12 into 5 is 60. So we have got that. We have found the value of x. X is 60. And what is x? The number of days taken by 30 men is x and that is 60. So 60 days. So the number of days needed by 30 men to complete the work is 60, which is our final answer. We can do the same thing in the arrow method. So in the arrow method, we make two columns, number of men and number of days. Now let's fill in. So here we have 72 men. So let's write that 72 men finish the work in 25 days. Now here, how many days? So we don't know the number of days. We put an X. Will 30 men do the same work? So here, the number of men has decreased. When the number of men has decreased, the number of days is increasing because 72 men, if they all work together, they're able to finish in 25 days. Now the number of men has reduced. So that means they're going to take more time to finish their work. So when this has decreased, this is increasing. So this is a case of inverse variation. So the arrow marks should point in the opposite directions. So we have one arrow mark like this and the other arrow mark like this. And now look at what is pointing towards the arrowhead. 30 is close to the arrowhead. So that will be your numerator for the fraction 30 by 72. Similarly, on the other side, which is the number that is close to the arrowhead? 25. So that should come first. So 25 by x. Now cross multiply. So we crossing and multiplying here. So what do we have here? We have 30 into x. 30 into x is equal to 72 into 25. Then we take only x here. On the other side, we have 72 into 25. Transpose the 30. It becomes divided by 30. Now cancel 25 and 30 by 5. 5 5s are 25. 5 6 are 30. Cancel 6 and 72. 6 12s are 72. Multiply 12 into 5. 12 5s are 60. So we have found the value of x. X is equal to 60. And what is x? The number of days taken by 30 men. Let's write that the number of days needed by 30 men to complete the work is 60. So this is our final answer. Question 8. If 56 workers can build a wall in 180 hours, how many workers will be required to do the same work in 70 hours? So how many workers are needed? So let's say number of workers required to do the work in 70 hours, we'll consider that to be x. Now let's get our table. So here first we have number of workers and number of hours. So let's write number of workers. First we have 56 workers and they are building the wall in 180 hours. So when you have 56 workers, now the number of hours is 180. Next, we are asked to find the number of workers. How many workers? So here we have x will be required to do the same work in 70 hours. So in 180 hours, 56 workers are able to do. Now we have reduced the number of hours. That means we need many more workers, isn't it? Because they need to quickly finish the work in 70 hours. So here, when the hours has decreased from 180 to 70, the number of workers are increasing. From 56, it has to increase because we need more workers to complete the work within 70 hours. So this is a case of inverse variation. That means x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2. Let's substitute. x1 is 56. 56 into 180 is equal to x2, which is x into y2, which is 70. Now let's find the value of x. X is equal to 56 into 180 divided by 70. Let's cancel. I can cancel 1 0 here. I can also cancel 7 and 56. So let's do that. 7 1s are 7, 7 8s are 56. Now we have to just multiply 18 into 8. And that is equal to 144. So what have we found? We have found the value of x. And what is x? It's a number of workers required to do the work in 70 hours. And that's 144. That means here also it's 144. So can you see when the hours was decreased, the number of workers has increased to 144 workers. Only then can the work get over in 70 hours. So the number of workers required to complete the work in 70 hours is 144. So this is our answer. Let's do this in the arrow method. So in the arrow method, we make two columns. So we have workers here, 56 workers. So we can say number of workers and we have 180 hours. So the next column can be Number of hours. Now let's fill in. So 56 workers. 56. Number of hours is 180. So when 56 workers work together, they were able to complete the work in 180 hours. Now here, how many workers? So here workers will be X. Will be required to do the same work in 70 hours. So can you see this? Here 56 workers finished the work in 180 hours. Now the number of hours have been reduced. That means the work should be done very fast. So that means we need more workers. So when the number of hours reduced, the number of workers increased. So this is inverse variation. So your arrows should be in the opposite direction. So we have one arrow here and one arrow there. Can you see both are in the opposite direction? Now to write your equation, see what is near the arrowhead and write that as the numerator of your fraction. So x by 56 is equal to, on the other side we have 180 by 70. Now cross multiply x and 70 and 56 and 180. So let's write it here. So that will be x into 70 is equal to 180 into 56. Now let's find the value of x. X is equal to 180 into 56 divided by 70. We have taken 70 from the other side and we have brought it here. Now cancel the zeros. So here we can cancel 1 0 there and 1 0 here. We can cancel 7 and 56. 7 eighths are 56. Now multiply 18 into 8 and that is 144. So x is equal to 144. And what is x? X is the number of workers. So we have found the number of workers. So let's write the number of workers required to complete the work in 70 hours is 144. So this is our answer. Question 9. A car takes 6 hours to reach a destination by traveling at the speed of 50 kilometers per hour. How long will it take when the car travels at the speed of 75 kilometers per hour? So when the car was traveling at 50 kilometers per hour, it took 6 hours. Now the speed has increased and we are asked to find out how long it will take. So let's write time taken by a car traveling at 75 kilometers per hour. Let's consider that to be x. Now a table. So here we have time in hours and the speed in kilometers per hour. So time, let's fill in here, is 6 hours. In 6 hours, it was able to cover 6 hours at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. So when it went at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, it was able to cover the journey to reach that destination in 6 hours. Now we are asked to find how long it will take. That means the time. And time we don't know, so we are writing x at a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. 75. Okay. The speed has now increased from 50 kilometers per hour to 75 kilometers. So when the speed increases, the car can reach the destination in a lesser number of hours. So the speed is going to increase, but the number of hours is going to decrease. So this is a case of inverse variation. So let's write x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2. So x1 is 6 into y1 is 50. This is equal to x into 75. So now let's find the value of only x. X is equal to 6 into 50 divided by 75. Let's cancel. We can cancel 50 and 75 by 25. 25 twos are 50, 25 threes are 75. We can cancel 3 and 6. 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. Now multiply. So here 2 twos are 4. We have found the value of x. And what is x? X is the time in hours. So can you see x is now 4 hours. So the time has reduced when the speed has increased. So time taken by a car traveling at 75 kilometers per hour is 4. Let's write that. So that will be 4 here. 4 hours. This is our answer. Let's do the same thing in the arrow method. So first we will have the two columns. So a car takes 6 hours, so that will be time in hours. And the speed is 50 kilometers per hour, so speed in kilometers per hour. Let's fill in the columns. So time is 6 hours, let's write 6 here. And the speed is 50 kilometers per hour, it's 50. Then we are asked how long will it take, that means the time, so that is x, when the car travels at a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. So this is 75 kilometers per hour. So here the speed has increased. Now when the speed has increased, the time needed will be less. So speed has increased, the time is going to decrease. So this is inverse variation. So our arrow marks should point in the opposite direction. So we have one arrow here and one arrow here, both pointing in the opposite directions. Now what is close to the arrowhead, write that as your numerator. X by 6 is equal to 50 by 75. Cross multiply. So here let's cross multiply. What do we get when we cross multiply here? We get x into 75 is equal to 50 into 6. That means x is equal to 50 into 6 divided by 75. Let's cancel 50 and 75 by 25. 25 2s are 50, 25 3s are 75. We can cancel 3 and 6. 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. Now multiply 2 into 2. 2 twos are 4. So we have found the value of x. X is equal to 4. And what is x? X is the time in hours if the car has to travel at a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. So let's write the answer. Time taken by a car traveling at 75 kilometers per hour is 4 hours. So this is our final answer. With this, children, we come to the end of this exercise. Thank you, children.